Hello, ladies and gentlemen, good people of planet Earth. This is Jed from Your Guitar Academy. Today we're going to be looking at the solo for Iron Man by Black Sabbath. So this is an additional video to one we previously made where we went through all of the sections for the song Iron Man, which you can check out, it's on the channel. This is just specifically going to be looking at the solo in the middle of the song. Okay, so in the solo for this tune, we've just gone from the key of B, so all the riffs are in B, and then we transition to this. There's a riff that happens before the solo, it's like a book-ended solo, so there's a riff before and a riff afterwards that happens in the key of C sharp. So we transition to C sharp. So it's going to be C sharp blues stuff that's happening. I think we're using the 5th box shape and the 1st box shape of pentatonic. I don't believe it goes anywhere else outside of that. So just the 5th and the 1st. So we're starting our first phrase in the 5th box shape. And that's what we're dealing with there. So we're going like this. So what I'm doing is a hammer on from the 7th to the 9th on the low E string. And then we're doing the same thing on the A string, so 7 to 9. And then we do a pull off, land on the 9th fret of the low E string. And then we run back up the scale. So here we go, 7, 9, and then 11. And we do a slide from 9 to 11 on the A string. So everything so far should sound like this. So the next part is going to be this fret here. What is that? The 9th fret on the D string, and we hit that note 3 times, I believe. Yep. 3rd time we do a hammer onto the 11th fret. Then we hit the 9th fret on the G string. We hit the 11th fret on the D string twice. And then we do a pull off from 11 to 9 on the D string and land on the 11th fret of the A string. Then we jump back up to the 9th fret on the G string. And we hit that twice. Hit that 9th fret on the G string twice. We do a pull off again from 11th to 9 on the D string. Land on the 11th fret on the A string. Then we do a hammer on from 9 to 11 on the D string, and then we hit that root note again once more after the hammer on. So that should sound like. So everything in context so far. I'll play that for you again even slower, and I'll count it in if you want to try and play along. So 3, 4. Great, let's look at the next phrase. So here we've got this classic blues lick. I'd be surprised if you haven't played this before, if you have experience in playing blues guitar, but here's what it is. So we're bending up on the 11th fret on the G string, just a full tone bend. Then we're hitting the 9th fret on the B string and the top E string. Then we do a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B string. Then we land on the 11th fret on the G string. Then hit the 9th fret on the B, and then we jump down to the 9th fret on the G and hit that twice. So that should sound like this in context. Even slower. The next phrase is going to be this. So this is interesting. It's a pull-off and then a hammer-on, I believe. So we're going to be on the 11th fret of the D string. We do a pull-off to the 9th. Then we pluck the 9th and do a hammer-on back to the 11th. Okay, so this next phrase that we have, after we've done this pull-off and hammer-on the 11th and 9th fret of the D string, we jump to the 9th fret on the G string, and then we do this phrase again. So that is bending up a full tone, 11th fret on the G string, 9th fret on the B, 9th fret on the top E. So, then we have this phrase. So we're just descending the pentatonic scale there, and I'm doing that as 2 pull-offs. So I'm pulling off from the 12th fret to the 9th fret on the B string. Then I'm pulling off from the 11th to the 9th on the G string, and then landing on the 9th fret of the B string. So nice and slow. I'll play that nice and slow for you from this pull-off and hammer-on bit on the D string. That's what that phrase should sound like. I'll just play that a bit slower. The phrase after that is this. It's very similar. It's just a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B string. Then we hit the 11th fret on the G, land back on the 9th fret. Then the next phrase is the one before this one I've just shown you. So if that makes sense. So that will be this. So that, again, that's a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B string, then pull off from 11 to 9 on the G string, and then landing back on that 9th fret on the B string. So let me try and play that nice and slowly for you, so you can kind of piece it all together. So we've got... So if I did that just from those pull-offs on the B and the G string, that would sound like this. Let's try everything in context from the beginning. So... That leads us on to that next phrase. We've got, after we've just done this, we're going to jump to the 9th fret on the top E string. Then we do a full tone bend on the B string, 12th fret to the 14th. Then we land back on the 9th fret on the top E string. And then we do 12th fret on the B, and then the 9th fret twice on the B string. So I'll play the bit before into that. That last phrase there's a pull-off. So we've got... So we're hitting this note twice on the B string, but the first one's a pull-off from the 12th fret. The reason being, when you're playing it up to speed, it's just much easier. If you were picking all of those notes, that would be more difficult. Let me play that from the phrase before, or a couple of phrases before. So this is the next phrase coming up. So we've got 3 full tone bends on the 12th fret of the top E string. The third one, we bend back down, so we've done 3 strikes on the top E string of this 12th fret. Then we have that phrase. So hammer on pull off from 9th to 12th fret on the top E string, 12th fret on the B string, back to the 9th fret on the top E string, back to the 12th on the B string, and then we do a full tone bend. So that should sound like this. So again, I'll do a few phrases before this one we've just gone through, just to give it some context. So... So this is the next phrase. So there we're doing a full tone bend on the 12th fret of the B string, landing on the 9th fret of the top E string. Then we're doing a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B. Then we're doing this full tone bend on the 11th fret of the G string. Full tone bend on the G string, 11th fret. Then we climb those 9th frets again on the B and the E string. So we've gone. Then we do a pull off from 12 to 9 on the B string. We land on the 11th fret of the G string. So we've landed on that note. We're then going to pluck it again and do a pull off to the 9th fret and land on the 11th fret of the D string. So this is what that bit sounds like. So let me try and play that whole phrase again. Just slow that down even more. And one more time for luck. Okay, here is the last phrase of the solo. So we've just done these two kind of pull-offs on the B and the G string. And we've landed on the 11th fret of the D string. Our next phrase is going to be this. So what that is plucking the 9th fret on the G string twice. Then we do a pull off from 11th to 9 on the D string. And we land on the 11th fret of the A string. Then we climb back up the scale. So that's just 9th fret and then 11th fret on the D string. So that should sound like this. And then we repeat that phrase once more. So again, I'll do that nice and slow. Cool. So after we've done that phrase twice, we've ended on this 9th fret on the G string. We're going to jump to the 9th fret on the D string. So we've gone. And then we do a bunch of hammer-ons from the 9th to the 11th fret on the D string to finish off this solo. So let me try and do that in context for it to make a bit of sense. So in the middle of the solo, we're going. Okay, so the very last part of this solo, we've just done this phrase twice. Then we go down to the 9th fret on the D string. And we do a bunch of hammer-ons from 9 to 11, like this. And then that riff comes back in and the solo finishes. So the solo finishes with. And that's everything you need. Thanks very much for tuning into this video. If you have any queries or questions about the solo, everything will be in the write-up, which will be in the description below. Otherwise, thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.